No, it's fine. We're not here to judge.
How did I start that?
Don't you want me to exit and then enter the video?
No, that's weird. Like, where are you coming from?
Okay.
Alright. Hello everyone, thank you so much for joining me for yet another episode on my YouTube channel. Of course, this is Cynthia Rodia, and I am joined by the amazing Timothy Olivier. He calls himself Olivier, it's not Olivier as I believe. Olivier.
You must put at the bottom there. Pronunciation. Oh yeah. E-V-E-Y-A-Y.
He's a very good friend of mine, and he's joining me today on my YouTube channel. So I have no idea what we're going to be talking about today, but we just thought to have a natural conversation. And yeah, let's get to it. So stay tuned for more.
Is this where the ads roll?
I don't have ads yet.
So what are we talking about today?
Okay, so what's on your mind? What's heavy on you? What do you feel like needs to be addressed? The reason why I have Timothy on my channel is a lot of people have been telling me they want a bit of variety. I'm doing this to also accommodate those viewers that want a bit of variety, because mostly I've just been focusing on romantic relationships, marriage and all that stuff. But I want to broaden it up and talk about relationships in general, talk about culture shock like I did in my previous video. All these things that make up life and make up us as individuals, because you must remember, I'm very big on relationships, and as you might have read on my Instagram, I talked about how the quality of your relationship is, or your relationships are directly proportionate to your quality of life. So I'm very big on relationships. I'm very big on maintaining the quality of your life. So yeah, that's so I have Timothy here today, and our discussions are always on issues of life, how we can better ourselves, and that's why he's a friend of value, because he always adds value to my life. Yeah. So what do you feel like? Yeah.
Probably not relationship. That's one area where I have the least experience.
But
Very
relationships,
single.
platonic relationships as well.
Oh.
Yeah, not just relationships, because
Okay.
life has, because we had a recent conversation the other day that led me to actually launching my business. So yeah, that's an example of, you know, a friendship.
When you write that founder's mission, you must say inspired by.
Ooh, Jella, no. But Norman was also very behind me. Also helps to have a friend to say, yo, do this. You know what he says, I always take it as he's just saying it out of love, just to support me. But like when it comes from your friend is like, Chomi, like do this. And
Just
you're like,
know, where's the action plan? Let's draw it up for you.
yeah.
Me. But on relationships, I have very few friends. I think I can count them on my fingers. And there are so many people that I think the word friend has become a very loose term to use. People are just like, no, it's my friend. If they see you on a YouTube, no, my friend is featuring. No, honey, let's understand.
That's an expensive
boundaries.
word.
Yes, so some people, I have a lot of acquaintances, but I have very few friends, and I have been having a few limited amount of friends since I've been on school. I've always been in this mindset that I need to have friends that pull me forward in life. So generally my friends are either older than me, or they do something better than me, because matter of the fact is a relationship is always a compromise, and if you can't get something out of it, and here I don't mean be a Kandeshi or Kardashian or whatnot, but if you cannot build each other, you cannot work towards something, and if you cannot inspire someone to start something, then why are we here? Then it just feels to me like a fan club. So it's it's true. Then it's one-sided. So I have very few friends, and all of my friends pull me forward in life, and I think I inspire them also.
They do. No, but and it's not just even Shumi. Shumi's a friend of mine. We'll have her on another episode. And there was a time in university there was a law of associations exam that I missed. I thought it was at 12, but people wrote at 8. So Shumi's calling me. She's like, "Bro, where are you?" I'm like, "Bro, I'm on my way, bro. The exam is at 12, right?" And that was like at 11. She's like, "Bro, we're done."
Wait, exam, not a test.
Examination. Show me. 3rd year. And I was like, what am I gonna do? Like, and I was crying, and I was like,
That's
oh
the
my
worst
gosh,
thing.
oh my gosh. And she didn't even feel sorry for me. She's like, listen here. Take a shower. I'm coming there. I'm coming to get you. We're gonna go fill out some forms. You're gonna go enter for that special exam. You're gonna write it and you're gonna pass it. I'm like, okay. And she came and we did it and I passed it. So those are the kind of friends that we need, like, in our lives. And
imagine today, in retrospect, if we had this conversation and it would have gone something like, no, she was just like, Abra, I'm sorry.
Like, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
And then they're gonna go talk about it with someone else. Be like, oh, this girl, I don't know what's wrong with her. So
I generally also, and no, I don't have psychic abilities, and I don't generally try not to judge people or condescend on people, but I can look at you. I can look at you and be like, I don't think this can be a friendship here. I can.
What are the
from
things that you look
from our first conversation, just the first sentence, I could be like, I can give you the benefit of the doubt, but these are already what I'm foreseeing.
Name 3 things.
3 things. You should be career driven, ambitious, independent, or at least striving towards being independent, and know what you want in life.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Not just career wise, family wise, friendship wise, personal. You should
Be
know
a whole
where,
person,
a whole
at least
person.
gravitate towards being
Yes,
like a
and
whole
no, but there's also the flip side of people wanting to be whole people. Has this become a term, whole people? But there's
the
this
person
thing.
who I was yesterday is not the person I am
Yes,
today.
but there's this thing where people they live in this bubble and they just think, okay, I'm gravitating towards this, but they don't do anything about it.
Yeah.
Personally, I'm very calculated, a calculated person on everything I do. So if I tell you, Cynthia, a year from now, I want to have, let's take, for example, what's a rich thing people do? Oprah has an orchard of avocados. I want an orchard of avocados. Right? Avocado orchard. If I'm telling you I want it a year from now, I would have done the research. I would have seen what should happen. I would have put in an action plan and be like, so in month 1, this is what needs to happen. We need to plant the seeds. They need to germinate. Month 2 to 4, this should happen. And then we should expect fruits by winter next year, whatever, because it's a winter fruit, So that is how I plan. I set a goal and I work towards it. So be realistic also. Don't say, one day I want to be a billionaire. All of us want to be billionaires. How are you going to become your billionaire?
Exactly.
So those are the type of things that if I have a conversation with you, conversate is not a word.
It's not a word. Why do people think we were conversating?
No.
What?
No. So when we discuss, then I listen to those things, and also just general worldview. Sometimes we tend to. I try not to have a lot of lawyers, seeing that I'm a lawyer, as friends, because it generally ends on a conversation about the law. So then you would have people in the group that are accountants and IT professionals and whatnot, and then because the majority are legal people, it will just end up in law. And I'm just like, we have other people here. We don't have to talk shop the whole time.
Tommy, do you know what? Let me just stop you there. One thing that I remember, I don't know if I had this conversation with you, if we're still at UNAM. And I was like, I never ever want to get married to a lawyer. Because lawyers, and this is like, even when I was doing my little candidacy practice for like those 2 years, I was like, I don't want to be in this environment because it's a group of people who think they know better than you and can explain concepts and ideas better than you. And you are constantly fighting to know better or to be seen to be better or smarter or more capable of. And for me, I was just like, no, it's toxic. So can you imagine in a house? But married people argue a lot. Like, even with Norman, the most chilled person, like we argue. Can you imagine arguing with a lawyer? it will never end. Oh,
but arguing in a relationship, to touch on that point, for me it's a good thing as much
Yeah.
as I'm very much single.
So in the ring,
None of your business.
They want to know. Tell us.
Finding out in the next episode.
Make sure you subscribe.
Subscribe, click the ring bell, or what do you guys normally say? The notification bell.
Show me these things.
So I think it's a good thing generally, arguments in friendships, whatever relationship with your parents, you know you're treading on thingy ground.
Very thin.
But it's also
she's no for me.
But it's also very important because I have one of my mottos, or not mottos, principles in my life is that if I become complacent in something, it means that I'm not growing. So when you become complacent with friends or whatever relationship, I don't think you're growing. There must be that batting of heads every now and then, difference in arguments. Doesn't mean that we hate each other. No, I'm not speaking to you forever again. It means that you're growing. It means that you have touched an area that we have not spoken about before, and that we are ventilating the topic, regardless of how we are ventilating about it.
Yeah, I agree. Someone once said to me, when you don't argue, that means you're not getting to know each other.
Yes.
And when you don't get to know
and
each
you're being
other,
pretentious.
someone is being fake.
Yes.
Someone in the relationship
Maybe both of you are being fake.
Maybe both, but let's assume the best and say one of you are being fake. And maybe someone's trying to suck up, or someone is just not. Because when you argue with someone, emotions are involved. You're attached to this person. You've got the time and energy to actually argue with this person. And oh my goodness.
Is the husband?
I need to... It's my mom. Sorry. Hello.
We're breaking for the sponsors. Oh, we were speaking about arguing, but when it comes to parents, for me, your parental relationship, it's more a thing of setting boundaries. Setting boundaries as you grow older. Healthy boundaries. I spoke to my shrink some time ago, and then she's like, sometimes our parents forget to grow up with us. So they grow with you, toddler phase, child phase, whatnot, and in most of those phases, they are in a supervisory role. Now you enter university and it's a transition period, and they should also start to transition because they are trusting you, they are sending you to whatever university you're going to, you're living on your own, and there is a certain level of supervision, but not so much. Now they are starting to trust you because I trust that Cynthia will live by the values and the things that I've taught her in this house, etc., and that she will be a good ambassador of my house. Now you become an independent adult and you move out of the house, and now the parental role should change into something more advisory. When I call you, it should be on, I want to do this, I want to buy a pink car, and then my mother would be like, no, maybe look at something different, maybe a blue or black car or gray, not pink. It should be more advisory, not something of, no, you're not gonna buy a pink car. No, it should not be that. And sometimes in African households, be it a white African house or a white household in Africa, colored household, bastard household, Vambu, Herer, or whatever, that remains the same. Parents think that they will forever be in a supervisory role, that the elders are calling you, you must come. And sometimes it's also like, I'm also an elder now. I must also sit by the table now.
I mean, I do agree. And I think the conversation must be had with parents to understand this. Because the other thing that is also
the conversation about toxic parenthood. Whoa, English came on a boat.
I wrote something briefly about that on my blog. It's something that I need to look into, edit as well. But I wrote, you know, like how, okay, I'll get to that now. But in addition to what you said, I think it's also important that we realize the importance of maintaining also our relationships with our parents, because a lot of blessing is attached to that relationship. If your mother goes to bed crying because of you, trust me, it's not going to go well with you. But sadly, you can go for prayers and do whatever, it's not going to go well with you. They need to be at ease and they need to bless you from the bottom of their heart. But the conversation must be had with them for them to understand that, listen, my child has grown and I should not be living vicariously or wanting to live vicariously through my child, and understand that their choices are theirs. Because my parents had a hard time when I was like, listen, I want to take a break from practice a little bit. It's not that I don't want to be
intense.
a lawyer.
It's intense. It's emotionally draining. You must perform at work. You must perform in school. You don't have time for. I was in this infinite cycle of home, work, school, and then I would come home again just to eat. You know, I felt like a sim. You know the game Sims? I felt like a sim. So then I'm home again and I to eat, and then I need to quickly do something. And then I remember there's this one contract I had to finish drafting for work, and then I would finish drafting it, and then tomorrow it's the same thing. So you're in this infinite cycle and it's mentally exhausting.
It's exhausting. And I had the conversation with him. My dad is a bit more career, he's the career guy. He's like, you need to achieve, you need to do, because parents, let's face it, African parents, for them to feel successful, their children must be successful. So I was like, you know what, I need a break. It's not that I don't want to be a lawyer anymore. I just need to explore my gift, which I'm doing right now. And of course, the lawyer stuff, I don't put it on social media, but it's stuff that I do on the side. If you need contracts, anything, halami. But on the other side, I had this conversation. He's like, no, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean? We sent you to school. We spent like so much money. And I was like, but I want to be happy. Yes, I want to be happy, and I want to explore my purpose. Like, what am I doing in this life? Like, if I die today, God forbid, what is it that I've done? Like, what impact have I left?
When you come to the throne of guidance, like, what did you do with your talents?
I gave you, and you know, you're just like, oh, I'm sorry. Where's the naughty corner? You know, and it's difficult to have these conversations, but I feel like I've now developed an approach where I don't just come at them like,
I know.
This is what I'm doing. I come at them as, you know, you guys do so much for me, and I value you as parents. Because parents love to be praised. You're like, but I also feel like for me to also experience happiness, I want to try this a little bit. You know, subtle approaches, and then boom, you have them.
And that is what I was getting to. You know what, friends, it's easy.
Same spirit.
Yes. It's easy for friends if I go to Cynthia, I'm like, Cynthia, listen, I don't like the way you made my coffee today. There was way too much milk in it. No, there wasn't. Just an example.
Because I was going to be like, you don't have to say it on camera.
No, just an example. But it's easy because we are peers and we have developed that relationship. Sometimes we have deeper relationships with friends, with our friends and with our parents. But with parents, you need to... It's sometimes a psychological game also. You need to play on the emotions and be like, mommy, this and this and this. Sometimes you come bearing gifts. No, you're not bribing them or influencing them. There's also just a certain level of respect, and then you're basically setting the tone.
You are, and I think with most relationships, for me, if I come to you and I'm like, I don't like the way you spoke to me, I feel like you
not
need to
in my
respect
house,
me more.
leave.
No, but you know what I mean? Like, it's like...
Yes.
I think we need to be more gracious in respect of now maintaining our relationships. The approach must be gracious. Because I think even with Norman Chomi, if I come at him like, I must say, don't put your socks here. The response that I would get from him, even from that calm Norman, is gonna set it off. And it's going to be fire, and then we're not talking, and then just because of socks.
The problem with those sometimes you just end up being upset with each other and you don't know why you're upset.
Exactly.
And you even forgot. You're like, sometimes I really wish and that is also how, the thingy that sometimes comes back to me, that verse in the Bible that says that we should be childlike.
Yes.
Not childish, but childlike.
Have hearts like children.
Yes. Because if you look at children, practically, they will fight now by the swings. They will fight now. Just now. Somebody played years. And you'll be like, but did these children not fight just now? And then they would go home and hug each other. And then be like, no, I want to go play by Cynthia tomorrow again. And now we're like, they just fight.
You know, and now as adults, we're like, I don't know. We don't even want to look at their statuses because it's like,
the influencers and the YouTubers will be like, I don't invite that energy into my life anymore.
No,
sometimes it's you.
But you know what? Exactly. I was going to get to that. You know what's really toxic is, this is not a secret. Timothy and I had a very rough patch in our relationship. And we actually thought we weren't going to be friends again. Yeah. And you know what? We both had to grow on our own. I had to find and search within myself, what is it that I did
I was
wrong?
surprised when I was invited to the wedding.
Show me, wait, we'll get to that. I was like, what? On a serious note, guys, like, what is it that I have done to contribute to this relationship being this way? What are my toxic traits? Because a lot of the times we're just like, I'm blocking out negative energy. I don't want none negative.
But we don't.
Yes, like what?
Right, let's break for our sponsors quickly.
Yeah.
No, there's no sponsors coming. It's just something I'm saying. But
speaking into
existence.
existence. Okay, so yeah, I feel like it's so important to look right inside of yourself and think. And my husband said something the other day. You know, sometimes I'm like, all these things that I say on my Instagram, sometimes Norman is like behind the scenes feeding me all this wisdom, because he actually said to me, for a relationship to work out, you both must grow. You both must take it on yourself to find ways to change. And my toxic trait was for a long time.
I mean, there's a fly featuring you.
It's okay, we're in Africa, there are flies. And
but I think it's
Will
Smith that posted it during the entanglement saga, where he said you can't expect someone to be 50% and you 50% and together you're 100. That's an equation that doesn't work. You must be 100% happy and you be 100% happy. That makes sense. And it entirely makes sense to me, because if I'm 50% happy, I cannot expect to feed from your 50% happiness. Then you have most nothing.
Then everyone is drained, and so it really takes two people to search within themselves and see. Because my toxic trait was, for a very long time, I don't take negative criticism from other people. It comes from growing up with a lot of severe anxiety and just trying to block out everything that makes me feel a kind of way. So I had to open up to allowing myself to receive the criticism for me to be able to grow. And that's how you can have meaningful relationships. People who take the time to tell you how you can grow, and not, but there's a difference between people giving you positive criticism and people just always putting you down. That's a difference. So you need to find the difference between that. But it's so important to open yourself up to critique so that you can grow and for your relationships to work.
And take it, you will generally, I won't take it from the baluka from the street. Sometimes
Who's the baluka?
I mean, a random person. Sometimes I would be like, okay, it makes sense, depending on the context. But just a random person or someone that I work with that I don't really deal with on a daily in my life, I'll just be like, no. But the people around me that I surround myself with, if they sit me down, like, Timothy, the levels of respect here.
There must be checks.
Then I will be like, I know one of my toxic traits, and I'm dealing with it, is that I, like they say in Afrikaans, ek spring vinnig op 'n perkie. Like
you're like,
if you come for me, and maybe it's wrong for me to say also at work they know me. I generally say at work, you can do all things through Christ, but come for me in my professional capacity. I will finish you off. I will finish you. But you don't. But she said it's a toxic trait that I don't like being said that I am wrong. Don't tell me if I know I'm right. Don't tell me.
I feel like this is why we're friends.
If I have the conversations and I can tell you on this day I did this and I did this and I did this and I did this and here and here and here. You will not come and tell me otherwise. Why did you keep quiet if I said all of these things? Come on now. Come on now.
Bye guys.
Peace out.
Talk to you soon.